While the KwaZulu-Natal ANC's newly elected leadership has made no secret that it wants the step-aside rule to go, a number of other provinces expressing their dissatisfaction with aspects of that resolution. It was adopted at the ANC's Nasrec conference in 2017. Well, let's talk then about what we can expect. We're joined by former Gauteng Premier Mbhazima Shilowa. Good evening to you, Mr. Shilowa. A pleasure to have you with us tonight. Of course, big questions about what the future of the step-aside rule is going to be, but it seems the conversation has become more than just what the ANC does with this particular resolution. It's really about the commitment of the party to rooting out corruption within its quarters and what the best way of doing that is, and if it can successfully do that and still stay together.
Indeed, good evening, Kathy. I hope that the ANC does not make the mistake of making this policy conference just one that discusses the issue of the step aside. Because in reality, in a normal functioning society and democracy, you don't even need that step aside policy. Because you already agree that ethics matter, revolutionary morality and integrity are important, that those who are corrupt should not be near any leading positions either in an organization or anywhere, and that those that are caught in that way, there is a moral conscience for them to be able to resign. So I hope that that's not really the focus. I hope the focus is going to be, we are in 2022. There's 2024 elections coming. We may lose the elections. It doesn't matter whether they say it publicly or behind closed doors. The signs don't look good. And I think they need to be able to know that you can fight and lose it out all of them together. Or they can agree that, look, let's sort out issues of policies, let's look at the economy, water, sanitations, the issues that have made us lose out in key metros, and in that way, they may be able to find one another and emerge united.
There is some acknowledgement of just how difficult a terrain the party finds itself in, especially when you look at the analysis of, the state of the organization in the party's ANC documents. They talk about, the road to 2024 being a treacherous one for the organization, also saying that they're facing an existential crisis, not only because they may cease to exist, but also that they may no longer be the movement that represents change in society. But the big question is really how to root out what the party describes as the division that is taking place from within, the counter-revolutionary forces that it says are operating from within its ranks, that are seeking to undermine and in some instances even topple the state.
I think most of these documents are written for the public and less for ANC members and the delegates. I think they focus on, flowery issues that will make me and you give it another chance to be able to vote. The truth is that they need to ask themselves, yes, we say there are divisions. What causes those divisions? How do we deal with those divisions? Yes, we say that people are unhappy. Why are people unhappy? It's because some of the leaders that have been put in as either premiers, ministers, they've just been found with their heads in the till, and instead of the ANC acting against them, it sort of says to the people, let's work together. They need to say, why have our own core constituency stayed away? If you deal with all of these issues, the rest will follow. So, Harina Busupi, of these are just either words or they're going to emerge. That's why one has to wait until Sunday or Monday and see what have they resolved. It's no point coming out and say, we have agreed that the step-aside resolution will stay or will go. We want to know, what are you going to do with those who have been implicated in state capture, as an example? What are you going to do about your own president, who is not willing to take the country into confidence about what happened at Palafala? These are the issues that cannot be ignored and just be cloaked by nice-sounding written documents.
Mr. Shilowa, just to wrap it up, are you expecting that there will be any trouble, at least on the part of this issue of delegates who are attending this conference and how those delegates were selected?
No, I don't think so. I think most of those delegates would also have been to a number of conferences that have taken place. And also because it's not an elective conference, I think there's less likely to be contestations about the credentials. The contestation is going to be about what direction is the ANC going to go.
All right, let's leave it there for tonight. Former Gauteng Premier Mbhazima Shilowa.